Good morning, all. This is Amrita from Locuz. A warm welcome to everyone, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us for this Locuz webinar on Nutanix NuTech Academy. At our NuTech Academy, you will become the modernization champion in your company, leveraging hyperconvergence from Nutanix. Let me quickly brief you about our agenda for the webinar. From 11:05 to 11:15, we'll have welcome notes and Locus introduction. From 11:15 to 11:45, we'll have session on modernizing your data center and apps with HCI. From 11:45 to 11:55, we'll have Q&A session. From 11:55 to 12, we'll have vote of thanks. I hope everyone is keeping safe and positive during these challenging times. Without much ado, let me just go over some of the webinar hygiene protocols. Let's keep ourselves on mute at all times for better audio clarity. You may please ping any questions you have on the chat box and we will take them up. To avoid the flow of the presenter, we will stick to taking all questions at the end of the presentation. With that, let me introduce Mr. Vinu Gopinath, Regional Sales Head at Locus Enterprise Solutions Limited. Experienced in sales lead with a demonstrated history of working in the storage and backup domain, he is a strong sales professional skilled in sales, enterprise software, storage, customer relationship management, and sales operation. With that, over to you, Vinu.
Thank you, Amrita. Uh, Good morning, all, and very warm welcome for this e-meeting, which is specifically around the technology, the Nutanix technology, and which we call it as NuTech Academy. This is more of a technical deep dive onto the technology from Nutanix, and I have colleagues from my own organization as well as from the Nutanix being part of this session, and they will be taking you through. Amrita, I hope my audio is clear because I've been going through the network challenges from the morning. Hope it's clear now and stabilized.
It is clear, Vinu. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me take maybe another 5 to 10 minutes to give a brief about what is, sorry.
I guess there's some
Just a
network
second.
issue from Vinu's end. Vinu,
My
you there?
slide. So a brief about, I'm there.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is visible.
It's visible, right?
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
switch off the video. Probably I'll be able to, save some bandwidth for the audio, which is important. So a brief about Locus, that is what I expect in another 5-10 minutes. I'm sure uh, customers like you have experienced our services and you would have been with our journey for a while. For some of those customers who are yet to experience us, this will be probably a start of this journey. So we, along with Nutanix, bring the NuTech Academy for you. I head the region for Locus, which is Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and I have my colleague Namrita, who heads the Bangalore and Chennai region, and the colleagues from both the sides have been part of it. So we are, adult company. We crossed the teenage last year. So we are almost 20 plus years in the industry. So we are an adult and matured from a technology, journey. We started our journey way back in 2000. Locuz has been formed officially by some like-minded entrepreneurs at that point in time. And ever since, we have been taking our customers in the journey of modernizing their IT infrastructure. It could be building their network infrastructure, or it could be compute, storage, backup, any kind of infrastructure requirement, along with the security in mind. We have been doing this. And we have been certified on some of the certifications like ISO 27001, certain, which is a very credible certification from a security standpoint, and ISO 20000. And we not only provide solutions to our customers, we make sure that the customers help the customers to manage this for a long time in terms of providing skills, be it remote, be it on site. So we help our customers to provide an end-to-end of service experience. We are an authorized partner of for Nutanix. It's a relationship we are really cherishing, and we see uh, taking this journey ahead very fruitfully for our customers. So as I was telling you, we started our journey way back in 2000, 2001 as a Cisco partner. We still continue to be a very strong Cisco partner. We are a gold certified partner. But over a period of time, we added lot many technologies into our kitty. One of the prominent things which we always proud about is our high performance computing capability. And we are proud to be associated with some of the national uh, interest projects, likes of tsunami warning system, Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan. Some of these large projects, Locuz is being part, which help us to understand the infrastructure in the length and breadth what our customers are expecting. So we are continuing this journey uh, you know, hereafter. So our mission is to provide a hybrid IT platforms. I think this is the mission statement probably we would have built uh, or put in some time back, but this is very relevant in today's IT environment, wherein a lot of our customers are adopting the hybrid IT. And I'm sure our colleagues from Nutanix will be talking more about how the hybrid IT can be a reality with the technology. And we focus heavily on the services because our customers look at services because products are not complete without it's been put in use. And in that journey, we also build some of the IPs to manage uh, and help our customers to manage cloud infrastructure or HPC clusters and all those things. So we have built our own IPs, and our objective is to be a leader in the technology lifecycle for our customers, and we make sure that we keep adding the capabilities and strength to our forte by providing the value to the customer using very technology focused in approach and having a wide variety of ecosystem of technologies with us. And we can help you to build very custom services for our customers, which can also be complemented with some of the IPs which we built using our own engineering capabilities. As I was telling you, our focus is predominantly on three major areas, which are cloud, HPC, and big data. Today, a lot of customers need expertise and capabilities in these areas because all these are today reality for many of our customers. To talk about some of our achievement, we are proud to have close to around 350 plus. This number is little dated. I think we could have closed another 400 odd customers, 400 plus customers, and some of the large HPC implementations. And we have deployed close to around 30 petabytes of storage in these times, as well as we have built close to around 6 IPs, and that number continued to grow from Locuz engineering services. Just to put in the brief, we do cover the end-to-end of spectrum of customer requirements, which covers the core foundational infrastructures like data center technologies, network technologies, as well as building middleware platforms, providing cloud infrastructure, making sure that the customer take the complete value of it using our services, which is covering the security, cloud, technology, and the data ops. It is something which new we are doing it from Locuz, which is building a lot of analytical capabilities. I think that is where the big data, which I was referring to, coming in from. So we cover pretty much everything, but maybe business applications is one area maybe we would have not touched so deep, but we scratched the surface on that as well. But beyond that, we provide all other services. These are some of our we feel proud about our customers, and we very happy to have some of you as our references customers as we go along. So here is what something in the government education sector, and Locuz has expanded its portfolio outside India. We have Locuz Inc., which is serving some of our large clients in US, and these are some of the customers which we serve in US. I think that's the brief which I could give it from about Locuz. And let me hand it over back to Amrita for the next session.
Thank you, Vinu, for that introduction. And let me introduce Mayank Mishra, Systems Engineer, Nutanix. Mayank has over 15 years of client-facing rich experience in technical sales, solution designing, and solution delivery, including cloud computing, virtualization, converged and hyperconverged technologies aligned with the business requirements. Over to you, Mayank.
Thank you, thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Glad to see you on this call with us. For the next 30 minutes of time, we will talk about Nutanix and how will it help you in your journey of hybrid cloud infrastructure requirements. Just give me a sec. I'll share my screen. Amrita, is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks a lot again. Right. To begin with, just a quick introduction on Nutanix point of view. That Nutanix is a company founded in 2009 by 3 Indians in the US, and for the last 11 years, one of the things that we have been very much focused is a customer. Why? Because whatever we are doing as a solution offering or support services or providing the value addition to the customers, all in all is something customers are able to value it and use it as well. That is why if you look at this value on the screen, that is net promoter score 90, is something we always feel cherish and we humble about it, because the net promoter score talks about how likely an existing customer will be able to refer to a new customer. And the score generally, start from -100 to +100. And we have been able to maintain 90 plus score for the last 7 years. So thank you so much for being with us on this, on this journey, and the Locuz team as well. And with this support and services, we are able to maintain 97% of customer retention. I mean, we will not find a customer who has moved out of Nutanix uh, in last so many years, but we have plenty of customers who move out of competition to Nutanix because of the support and the solution that we are offered are quite useful in the requirements. That's why we are able to sustain this value in our Gartner, IDC, and Forrester Wave leaders quadrant as well. And we have been able to sustain this for quite some time now, in last 4 years in India itself. And on the Indian business side, we have been able to maintain 13 quarters, almost 3 years of #1 position in HCI front. So thank you so much, for supporting us in this journey. A couple of brand names across the globe, which you can see here as Cognizant, NSE, SBI, ICICI Bank. These are some Indian brand, but yes, out of top 2000 global brands, we have more than 900 plus brands that we are able to serve and work with them. On the Indian context, these are a couple of names that we are working with them, and they allow us to serve them in every segment, in every industry in India itself. Now, coming back to the point of your IT requirements or IT challenge that we have today. So in this era of digital transformation, we understand IT has plenty of challenges, right? On a business front, it's not only about having a system down or the server down. The problem is the business impact. How do we ensure there will not be a business impact for any of the reasons or any of the failure, and the design is good enough to handle these troubles? Right, but the problem that we are facing right now is that the system that we have been using for more than a decade now are complex and meant for specific kind of requirements, hard to work in terms of deployment. It takes a couple of days to deploy the project. When we say we have a new setup to implement, everybody in the office is very much aware of that. It will take a couple of days or weeks to deploy a new setup in the data center itself, right? It could be of any application or any infrastructure requirement or any of IT components required. At end of the day, we are spending a lot of time in deployment and provisioning as well. And then further, we have plenty of operations team managing these systems just to ensure the services are up and running. And if you're looking for any downtime activity, any maintenance activity, the business team generally avoid any downtime to avoid the business impact. And that is why the systems became old and legacy with not much of an update. And if there is an update required, there isn't a patch required, or there isn't any maintenance activity need to be done, IT team struggle to do that, and it leads to a business impact and the downtime as well. And then further, last but not the least, with these things, IT teams are not able to well innovate, or I would say work on the new applications, because the infra or the ecosystem is meant for legacy systems. And if you're looking for Kubernetes-based systems or orchestration at your container level or automation here in terms of your cloud native application, all those components require a different platform to work with other than a traditional system that we always see that. So the quick way to handle this trouble is move to a cloud, right, where we have existing environment running fine. But if we want to move to a cloud journey, it may not be always a fit for everything. We understand cloud works well for many levels, right? Ease of use, ease of operation management, pay-as-you-go consumption, and all that thing. But eventually, this may not be the fit for all scenarios, right? Cloud would be a great idea for a dynamic workload where we have plenty of things keep on changing now and then very quickly. But when we understand we have a workload which is static, not much of a change, and we understand the journey of that entire application workload type, we may not require to be on the cloud. We can give that experience on-premises, and by modernizing your infrastructure itself, by giving the public cloud experience on-premises maybe. And if you want to work with public cloud, please, we can help you in all these journeys. So a quick Nutanix introduction on the platform size. Nutanix being a software company, what we are offering is a platform which can serve your all the infrastructure and all the needs at application level. Example, it can start from on-premises. If required, it can work on a public cloud. If you're looking for any data requirements of, let's say, block storage, object storage, file storage, or security front, we have this built in into our platform. And then further, if we are looking into automation solutions, or let's say Kubernetes container kind of requirements, or if you have a requirement for an end using computing solution like VDI or desktop as a service, like AWS workspace, entirely fine. There is no need for an additional component requirement where you have to spend time to integrate these individual appliances to serve the need here. A single platform is good enough of different kind of application, irrespective of your models, irrespective of your geographies. This is what I was mentioning earlier here. When we have different requirements of your, let's say, you're looking for a site-to-site application between, let's say, Mumbai to Delhi or Hyderabad to Chennai, right? In that case, we don't need to have a third-party application to have this automated recovery. You can have a zero RPO RTOs to sustain your business application running all the time without any impact, even if the data center is down. That is something we can offer you from the same platform, and the IT team don't need to be having a very expertise to do these things. If you're looking for an automation system like scaling up or scaling down, example, where I have to upgrade the resources given to an application which is asking for a huge, let's say, CPU, memory, storage, network adapter, throughput, there's something we can automate, which we can get from a public cloud experience. We can offer you the same on an on-premises maybe, or a public cloud as well, where you can decide your policies quickly, just a couple of minutes away, and that's it. You have your automation ready without any expertise being on the code. We don't have to be expert on the code to utilize the automation by Nutanix. And as I mentioned earlier about the data center of your storage requirement, any of your storage, file, block, NAS, we will be able to handle from this same platform. So all in all, a quick short summary on this is that one platform is good enough to handle different kinds of your business requirements in IT specific, and then further can work on any of your choice of vendor. If you're comfortable with HP, Lenovo, Cisco, Dell, we are okay with any of it. It's your preference. We're not dictating that, yes, if you want to use this solution, you need to have this hypervisor or this hardware. We are good to go with any of your own choice. All right, so on the middle of a technical side here, we understand when we look at your traditional infrastructure systems, what we observe is that we have individual silos of your IBM NetApp or maybe EMC storage for these storage requirements. And then further, we have connectivity using Brocket and Cisco SAN switches. Then we have different servers who are doing this activity of computation power. And then finally, we have a layer of hypervisor, which emulate this physical into a virtual environment, and then application comes where you have actual business application running in the systems. So all in all, the intention was to have application to run sustainable and work fine without any trouble, but we end up having these small silos managing by the operations team, right? And then obviously require expertise to handle these individual components. And this leads to a point where the IT team spend majority of their time on managing these systems, looking for an excuse from different vendors that this is not my problem, this is another vendor problem, please look at it. And a lot of planning required, even to do a maintenance activity. That is why business owners avoid taking downtime, because they are in fear. If we do this downtime, we may end up having more number of downtime required for further to fix these problems. With this, what we are offering is straight away this. Not individual purpose-built solutions. We have these systems combined into a single cluster, a single solution, which can be installed on any of your choice of hardware, which has a native built-in hypervisor. But we don't dictate you that, yes, you have to use our hypervisor. It's a part of the bundle by default without any additional licensing cost. But yes, you are comfortable with VMware or Hyper-V, please go ahead. You can choose your own hypervisor as well, and you can subscribe to their support. But if you go with Nutanix AHV as a hypervisor, which is part of the bundle by default, you don't have to manage anything at all except your application. So the intention here is to offer a platform to offer you infrastructure in an invisible space, which has integrated compute, storage, security, and networking built in into a single cluster, single platform, and managed by a single operational console. That's it. It's HTML-based console. We don't need expertise to manage it. We don't need a hands-on guy who worked like so many years on Nutanix. No, any generalist who understand storage, hypervisors, little bit of virtualization, good to go. He can manage Nutanix in a couple of hours of basic training itself. I'll show you in my demo as well how easy it is to operate. A little bit of detail here. So traditionally, if you look at here, we have individual systems by IBM or different vendors from the storage front. We remove those components and having individual nodes. But by removing this connectivity and the controllers in a physical form, we move to a software form. So now every node has one individual controller, that is a CVM for Nutanix, and it has plenty of things, not only IO to serve, it has plenty of things to serve and to manage for an entire cluster without losing the enterprise grade storage efficiency, example, deduplication, compression, eraser coding, and plenty other. All in all, you get a pool of resources managed by Nutanix software solution automatically for you. What is so unique about our approach? The first thing is that we ensure applications get the performance that it deserves. Generally, if you look at your traditional system or any other HCI vendor, they have the data spread across the nodes or maybe in a centralized storage. But here, data remain close to the application. So even if the application moves from one node to another node for any reason, it will not impact the system. You will have your application data closely sitting beside the application on the same node itself. And then we don't follow RAID. So we don't have limitation on the RAID itself. We have multiple copies of data to ensure protection is there. If the one node fail, or maybe let's say the entire disk fail, within a few hours, which take a couple of hours in traditional systems, Nutanix will be able to replicate an entire set of data from the nodes just as quickly as possible. And this starts immediately. Generally, in any other competition systems, it starts after 60 minutes of time for a data rebuilding or data replication. Nutanix do this job immediately to ensure high availability is always available. All right, so that's on the technical side, but how about management? If you look at my environment where I have individual systems of individual silos, let's say I have a business continuity plan for 2 sites, or maybe multi-site replication between these different sites, right? We are looking at data protection of different solution. Example, VMware offer SRM, Site Recovery Manager, and then further you need data replication between the sites through IBM SVC or NetApp, Sync Mirror, and plenty other third-party offerings. How about this? We combine all these individual management console into a single console, and we refer as a Prism. With a Prism, what you get is an operational team, ease of operations for you. Not only about day one, it is easy to deploy, and it's good, it's easy to deploy, but for day two onward as well. So for next 3 years, for 2 years, or maybe 5 years, your team will be very much happy because they will in the morning come on the job in the morning and they will see the screen, things look green, okay. Then they can drop the thing immediately and start working on something else in the business case, or as the organization asks for their different tasks to be done. Rather than looking for individual console, managing it and fixing it, not required. Here, in a single console, if things look different, we have an option to get a warning alert and fix automatically as well, proactively. And IT team has a lot of time not to spend on monitoring these things. It is an automatic proactive solution. Another unique selling point for Nutanix, which we always feel proud and humble, is that we are easy to use solutions. I mean, simplicity is something we have in our DNA in every possible way. in our every solution. That is why when we say we have something on a software side, we will update things for you. We only stop ourselves at only software. No, not at all. We are continuing this ease of updates and patch management at firmware at hardware level as well. So now what you get out of this great feature is your team will not ask for downtime that I have to update the firmware or update the hypervisor or some patch has been released by the hypervisor company. Can we take a downtime? Not at all. And they don't have to take a downtime like midnight or weekends or some holidays, which I spend a lot of time. I mean, on different leaves and holidays in my earlier time. The point here is with this thing, what we get is that you can update your entire firmware, a hardware firmware of your choice of hardware, example, Nutanix, Lenovo, HP, Fujitsu, Dell, Intel, all these individual hardware firmware level, we will update for you. Hypervisor, we will update for you. Plenty other a software stack that we have a full bundle here. Something we will do it for you. You can do it on Monday morning, 9 o'clock itself, without thinking or downtime. No problem. And if you want to, let's say, scale up, you have a 3 node to begin with, and you want to continue expanding as the business grows, you can do easily. You can add a new node, and the capacity, compute, entire performance get automatically balanced across the node. We don't have to think twice that if I add a new node, how do I balance myself? You can have a storage only node or you can have a compute only node as well if you require. Look at here, we have different systems and different way of adding systems. So let's say you have a requirement of 30 TB storage, but the VMs are running fine on a different application. We are not asking you to please buy a compute and the storage. You can buy individual storage nodes for 30 TB and then expand the capacity. That's it. And no additional licensing is required in that case. Your compute licensing is only for compute. Storage is just a way of adding a node. That's it. And if required, we can have a hybrid solution for different application and maybe all flash as well. I was referring to this point of AHV where we have our own hypervisor, which means you don't need to spend money on hypervisor here. You have all the enterprise class feature like HA, DRS, distributed network switching, or business continuity plan. All that something is part of the bundle on a day one itself. But we don't dictate that. You are always free to choose VMware or maybe Hyper-V as well. But yes, if you choose to go with AHV, you will save enormous amount of money for subscription as well. On the security front, security is something we always take seriously, and that is why we have our security first design. So whatever we do, security is in front of us as a first priority and the first policy itself, which means generally, if you look at traditional way, you install an OS or hypervisor, you start doing the best practices deployment on these systems manually or maybe automatically. Here, Nutanix do this thing in the factory itself, in the lab itself. So when the system gets delivered at your site, on the day one itself, you can do a audit check of these systems, and you will see Nutanix passing these audit checks 99% with flying colors on the day one itself, without any intervention required. And if further, let's say we have new bugs coming up and the new fix comes up, we don't restrict that. No, we have to wait till 6 months of time to, do this update. No, we release the update immediately. And the good thing is because of our one-click update option, we don't take a downtime. So you will see plenty of updates coming every 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time without impacting the services. But that leads to a feature enhancement and bug fix as well. On the compliance side, we have been compliant with various norms for the industry, and it still has the security at each component level. On automation side, let's say you are having a new project coming up in the system and you are looking for capacity planning. Traditionally, you need to buy an appliance to do this capacity planning for you, and it costs a lot to have this system in place. Nutanix Prism Pro offer you automated solution of forecasting and alert mechanism where it can inform you that yes, your resources pool are good enough for next 6 months of time or maybe 1 year. We don't do a guesswork or looking at report every time, or when the management asks for forecasting, you can clearly tell this is how much is being consumed in the report. If you want to add a new project, this much will be consumed, and we will end up shorting of the resources at this level, and this may not run more than 6 months or maybe 2 months of time. So there is no guesswork. It is all based on the historical data that you have at a rate of consumption that you have for the cluster, and we will do this for you automatically. And this further define the triggers and alerts as well. On the private cloud, if somebody, let's say, looking for a private cloud builder where you want to have a portal where the different development team or different users want to access the resources meant for their department only. We can have this private cloud portal built by Nutanix Calm as the application lifecycle automation and service capability, which allows you to have application install, I mean pre-install, just like your app store or maybe Play Store in the Google or Android, Apple and Android, sorry. In that case, you have, I mean, you search for the app, you have app, you click on the app, you submit and install in the mobile at least, right? In here, the user will ask for the requirement of, let's say, certain amount of application with this patching installed in it. In that case, if it is within the limit, user get the approval automatically and then get the resource right away. But in case it is beyond certain limitation, it goes to an approval, and the approval will approve the request, and provisioning of resources with the right application and the right patch as required by the application team will get delivered quickly without any further human intervention. Not like you're asking some IT guy to please give me these OS and storage capacity. On the storage front, if you have, I mentioned earlier, if you have a requirement of any block storage, let's say, I mean, you know, for Exchange or for maybe databases, or you're looking for development team object storage like S3, or if you're interested in NFS store or SMB storage requirement, we don't need to have an additional one box lying in data center that this is my storage box. No, we can give you an entire setup from the same cluster, or maybe in a dedicated cluster as well, which can fix all your storage requirements and still give you deep data analytics as a part of the deal by default. So you can look at who is consuming what kind of data, who is trying to access unauthorized data, who is doing a lot of writing, who is doing a lot of reading, modification, change in the policy, antivirus integration with the file storage itself is something we will do it for you from the same storage itself. On the security front, so let's say we have, I mean, I'm living in Bangalore in an apartment, and someone crosses our main gate, right? Which is like an IT terminology, it's like a parameter firewall. In the data center, we have generally 1 or 2 parameter firewall, and if the parameter firewall get breached, right, for any attack, the hacker or the intruder will have all the access to different application and then entire, I would say, server farm. Here, like my apartment, if someone crosses the main gate, he has access to every block and every amenities in my system, in my apartment here, right? How about this? We do not put a parameter firewall. It is there. We don't, I mean, not eliminate that. It is there as a parameter firewall, but we put a security at individual node level. It's like hotel security, where you have access key for every room and even the elevator. The point of this example is to give you a sense of clarity that Nutanix flows do not change anything in an existing network. Security, everything remain as it is that you are using, but you get a more controlled firewall, stateful firewall in the cluster itself. And it is all from the same platform. If looking for a disaster recovery and a backup solution, we are able to provide this disaster recovery from site A to site B, and even for a backup externally as well, with various individual third-party backup solution without any trouble from the same platform. So you have any other requirement at infrastructure or disaster recovery level, we will be able to work with your zero RPO, with zero downtime, and I would say zero loss of data for your different requirement of storage or maybe application as well. And if interested to work on a public cloud, if someone want to migrate to a public cloud, we will be able to help you to migrate the applications from on-premises to Nutanix cluster on AWS and without refactoring the entire application itself. There is no need to change the architecture of your application. It is all in all something, just a movement of your entire system from here to public cloud, maybe from a public cloud to on-premises as well. We can do it for you without interrupting the service itself. And all in all, this comes to one particular point: how licensing work. Licensing work in a very simple manner. If you go with software-based solution, we can use the same license that is using on-premises of Nutanix to a public cloud, or maybe a public cloud licensing model to on-premises. You can use your own credit on AWS or maybe Azure as well, if required. And one important thing, Nutanix offers subscription billing model, which means you can have 1 year of entire portfolio, 1 year of your requirement as a billing subscription. We don't need to spend 3 years of 5 years of the licensing cost on a day one. We can do it for you in a 1 year subscription. After a year, it is our owners to support in a much better way. And then after a year, you would love to renew this entire subscription as well. Second, I would say that not only this thing, if you have plenty of databases, example, Oracle, MariaDB, MongoDB, Microsoft SQL, MySQL, provisioning generally takes a couple of hours to a couple of days. Patch management sometimes asks for downtime. Data recovery takes a lot of time from the third-party backup or external backup. All in all, these provisioning, protection, copy data management, clones of different kinds of database managed through a single console that we can do it for your database admin team, which means your team will have more time to do something else in the business rather than looking at these individual applications like your databases or infra. It is act like a database as a service, like RDS from the AWS, and it's just a couple of minutes to a couple of seconds to recover your data from your snapshot, and it's a 0-byte snapshot, which means you will have your provisioning management without downtime in your office. Last, on the VDA front, if you're looking for a VDA solution, Nutanix will be happy to work with you to offer you 1 hour of VDA scalability, which means you can choose your own infrastructure and then further authorize through your own Active Directory or maybe third-party single sign-on mechanism like Okta, maybe Google Auth as well. Install your own application, consume it on any of your device. So you don't need to give a specific model to your employees to work as a VDA solution. You can have you can tell them you can use any of your laptop using a browser and you can consume your application any of your location. You don't have to be on the same office or in the same VPN itself. It can access without the VPN itself. All in all, you can try these things in Nutanix test drive. You'll receive a link after this session get over on the test drive. So test drive is basically a 4 hours of guided tour how Nutanix look like before even buying Nutanix. So you can experience it, consume it for 4 hours, and I'm sure you will love the experience. All right, how much time do I have? I have, I think, 2 more minutes. I'll take demo on this. 1 sec. This is how our test drive look like. You can choose from these test drive here in these 8 models. Okay. So what I'm showing, I want to show you is the demo for systems running Nutanix cluster with AHV as a hypervisor, and I'm sure you will love it. That there is no need for any external different solution to manage here. It just will have a single console for entire automation, security, disaster recovery management, even the file storage as well. You can manage from this console itself. So this is my console where I have my own hypervisor AHV here. You can manage entire storage. It is a by default thing provisioning. Number of VMs running, their status. I have number of 3 nodes, their efficiency, their consumption of resources, health-wise, some statistics on the performance level, all in all is presented on the main screen. And if you have problem, you click on the heart and you will see why it is failed. If I click on the fail, I can see it has some trouble with the connectivity and maybe some service getting troubled. So I have it. I mean, the IT team will have, operation team will have a cause of failure, resolution, how do we fix it, and some reference article. The point of showing this health environment and health scheme is to give you that whatever it takes at infra level, we ensure that the team do not go here and there for troubleshooting itself. You have your VM available here. You click on the VM and you will see the performance parameter here itself. You can observe their disk mapping and their inventory. Standard that you get from any of your VM environment is something you can offer here. So we can manage your VM, we can manage your storage efficiency here. I have plenty of feature example, compression, deduplication, and other storage efficiency mechanism manage and operate from this console itself. Network, hardware, it has inbuilt file storage in the system, data protection for business continuity plan across the multiple sites. Analytics is part of the Prism console from a day one itself, and alert mechanism updating of your entire firmware stack like this. You click on this settings and you choose update software. That's it. With this, you'll observe my current code is 515 LTS. Okay, it automatically detected the right compatible code is this 520.11. I have plenty of list available, but I will choose maybe 521. So I simply click download. Yes, and that's it. It's a demo environment, not possible in this case, but the point is, this is a real thing you do. Click download and submit. Entire cluster get automatically updated without impacting the services, and you can do it at Monday morning 9 o'clock itself. So a quick demo. Plenty of things are available. I don't want to hold you here much. Back to you, Amrita. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Frank. And we'll go ahead and take some time for questions now. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the chat box in your control panel.
Absolutely. I think while our customers just drop in their questions, I think one of the questions which I'm asking on behalf of our customers, how expensive is Nutanix?
It's quite interesting, actually. That's quite interesting question. That's very good, actually. So the way it works is pretty simple. That when you look at your consumption of resources of your business applications, right? It's all in all very critical to the systems, right? And you spend a lot of time in downtimes in management of these systems at operation level. A lot of costs get involved in your multiple silos, multiple assessing involved here, right? All in all, when you consolidate, you will see that the ROI of Nutanix is 60% when you compare it with any additional systems in the market. So cost, I would say, is definitely there. There's no free lunches, as you know already, right? There's no denying on that. But the point remains same. You will see a 60% ROI of your Nutanix systems versus any in the market as a competitor, and then for next 3 to 5 years. So definitely you will observe the value is much higher than the cost involved in this entire solution.
Absolutely, I got that. As a sweetener, to all our customers, we have a promo offer going on from Nutanix and Locuz. On your screen, you will see the pricing as low as 16 lakhs 50,000. You will get a 3-node cluster. So, and 2 different configurations, and you have seen the performance numbers as well, around 10,000 IOPS and 15,000. So whenever our customers are looking for any refresh of technology or any other, deploying new applications, we encourage them to reach out to us. We have some fantastic offers for them.
I didn't know that we have these offers with you actually. Thank you so much.
Thank
That's
you, Vinu, for
fine,
that.
Mayank. I thought I will share any which ways with our customers. Uh, any
It looks like,
questions?
yes, Vinu. We do have our first question.
Please.
Right. So I see that it's what are the customer benefit from traditional virtual infra to HCI. The one of the basic thing is that ease of management and ease of operations when you're running HCI, which means that you're not looking at individual silos of storage, I mean hypervisor and other component level things. You will have a single console to manage. That's the one part. Second part, there is a zero downtime and no planning required for any maintenance activity. So if you want to upgrade your hypervisor or your firmware at hardware level, you don't need an hardware expert specialist to do this job. It is something we can do it for you just literally a click away. I mean, I've done it plenty of time. I mean, last 4 years as a Nutanix customer and employee as well. It's quite easy to operate. And then for the second thing, not only that part, the various requirements of your let's say file storage, your database as a service, VDI solutions, or your disaster recovery, and many more are built in into the system. You're not looking for external appliances to add and integrate and further consume as when required. This works well integrated from the same console. So all in all, again and again, the point remains same. Simple to use, and you will have your requirement fixed for different workloads with a single vendor itself. Hi Ashok, considering a single point of failure for any unexpected outage, how does it recover from failures? Can it be used for production workload? Does it provide tape out solution for tape backup? Thank you so much Ashok for this question. The answer to the first question is, when there's a problem, let's say the entire node fails out of 3 nodes to begin with, one node fails, right? The VM will start automatically, I mean restart automatically on the available 2 nodes. So the HA triggers automatically, and HA is by default bundle. There is no additional licensing cost involved for HA to trigger. Right? And in case of let's say a disk fails or maybe a couple of disks fail in the same node, the point remains same. We have Nutanix software which will take care of this thing automatically for you, ensuring the performance remains same as it is. And I'm glad you asked, can you use it for production? We have plenty of references across the country and across the globe where, I mean, ICICI Bank, uh, I was the first fortunate guy to work with Nutanix as in a consultant in 2016. And we deployed our, I think, 40 node cluster in ICICI Bank in Jaipur. Just last year, ICICI Bank got more than 100 plus nodes in Hyderabad and in Jaipur as well. So the point is, ICICI Bank has more than 400 nodes for the last 5 years. Why? Because we are very glad and feel humble to work with as a financial industry here, and we have plenty of references who uses these system for mission critical application, and so these systems and these architecture are ready for this kind of different requirements. On the second point, we can use tape out solution by putting in backup proxy for a system. We do not support by default any SAN. If you're considering putting a SAN fabric adapter, that's not what is possible, because the moment we put a SAN adapter, we are going back to the fundamental of traditional systems where we have a centralized storage and then there's a data IOPS coming externally out of the node. We don't want to do that. That is why we don't have SAN option at all. But yes, we do offer iSCSI as a block storage to offer these backup to go outside from the same, but with the external backup server as well. Hope that clarifies your answers. I mean your question. Thank you, Ashok, for this question.
Thank you, Mayank, for that. We have another question, Mayank.
Okay, how Nutanix can help in hybrid cloud journey? It varies. It varies with the customer requirement. If you ask that,
Yes, Mayank, I hope.
I think I have missed it somewhere. Sorry, I was saying that for hybrid cloud, obviously we are looking for a solution which can operate in a public cloud and on premises as well. So Nutanix do offer services and clusters in AWS, and you can use the same Prism console to manage your a VM application running on premises maybe or a public cloud, and you can migrate those application to workload from a public cloud to on premises in vice versa as well. So we can work with you to understand your infrastructure, your workload types, your storage capacity, how does it work, and then further we can plan out and make it more easy for to go into hybrid cloud journey.
Yeah, I think, Mayank, that is what probably customer expecting is that they will have mixed workload on premise and in AWS.
Yep. Another question here: how Nutanix can protect customer investment? So, Nutanix do not need to have a new hardware all the time. Nutanix can work with you on existing systems, existing hardware. We just have to look at the compatibility list to validate that yes, your infra is compatible with Nutanix software. And if it is compatible, we are good to work with you to offer you software licensing cost, and you can have your own infra remaining as it is. So you have a protection available with this. Thank you for these questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. There's another one.
How easy it is to manage Nutanix infra? I would suggest to please put your hand, get a hand dirty on this thing by following Nutanix test drive, which you will receive in your mail in some time, because it's just a generalist job, not a specialist job to manage the system. Something we can do it for you. I mean, any IT guy can do that just following the instruction on the screen itself. So it's quite easy, like Android or maybe Apple. You click, you operate, and even your kid can install app and play games. So in a similar fashion, I think it's quite easy to manage. Please look at it. I'm sure you will love it.
Thank you, Mike. Request one more last question if there are any. So yes, we do have another question. Vinu, if you can answer that.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I think
I think
I'll be
we
glad
have-
to take that question. A partner, a system integrator who has been meddling in this technology swam for last 20 years. We understand different elements of technology, be it compute, networking, storage. Now, our traditional infrastructure understanding is today helping us to add value to provide the total solution on the top of an HCI, which is much more comprehensive and intuitive using Nutanix AHV. So we will be a total system integrator and provide those solutions. I understand there's been a question to you over and above configuring and making Nutanix infra work for you. I'm not sure whether I was audible, but if the network was permitting, I think I answered.
Thank you, Vinu,
Yeah,
for that. Yeah. So thank you, Mayank and Vinu, for answering those questions and for the great presentation. And it looks like we have covered all of our questions today. So Mayank, is there anything else you wanted to cover before a wrap up?
Just only one request or one statement to make before we leave the session is that I mean, Nutanix and Locuz has been working for last, I think, more than 2 years now, and we have a great work relation with the Locuz, and in every possible way that various solution offering. So please give us a chance to work with you to look at your existing environment, and I'm sure your IT journey that you're looking for our transformation here will be very much successful with Nutanix and Locus partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayank. And you will receive a survey on the presentation, and we would really appreciate if you would provide your valuable feedback. And with this, we come to the end of this webinar. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Mayank.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayank. Thank you, Vinu. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.